Hello, what I'm going to try and show you in this video is how to disassemble and reassemble the Beretta Outlander. I'm making this short video on request of a few friends that wanted to see how they come to bits and how easy they are to clean and service. This particular gun, it's my own gun, and it is on a Section 2 shotgun certificate, meaning it has the capability to hold 2 cartridges in a magazine and 1 in the chamber, classed as a 3-shot. This one, like I say, is the A300 Outlander, 26-inch barrels, wooden stock. I bought this one second hand, but I got a real good deal on it. To be quite honest, they're lovely and light, nice gun. Been out shooting with it a couple of times now, and I can't really fault it. But I'm just going to give you a quick rundown because it needs cleaning. I have been using it, so you'll get to see how it comes to bits. Right, first things first. Take the fore end nut off. Sorry if my hands are restricting the video. I'll try my best to keep it out of the way. Simple nut, fits in the fore end as you can see. Slide your timber off. Be careful when you're sliding it off, just so nothing happens. Nothing to the timber. Very light wood construction. Feels very brittle. At this stage, under here where you would load the cartridges, the little button where I've got my finger, which you can see there, just give that a push. You'll hear a click. That allows the mechanism to be held in the back position. As you can see, this gun is empty. Simply remove your barrels. Put the rest of the gun to one side a moment. This mechanism on the gun, this is the gas mechanism here. This part of it, you'll probably never need to take that to bits or alter it, adjust it or do anything to it, simply because they're quite foolproof. They're a hell of a good system, so it'll save you a lot of aggravation having to mess on with that. The bit that I do check in the back, this bit here, you'll see it spins round. If you just give that a little pull, I'll just put the barrels down a moment just to show you. As you can see, that there holds a washer there, and you'll see it's on the first groove, furthest away from where you pulled it out. Now if there was a defect on this or anything that was wrong, that would stop the gun cycling. But as you can see, it's not a rubber O-ring, it is equivalent to a piston ring on a car, I suppose, but to put it in simplicity. Right, so we'll just pop that there, that there. Next thing, I'm just going to send the action forward. Just keep a hold of the action there, push the gun up against you, pop the button, that's your action forward. Put a little bit of tension on, cock it on, grab it and pull it out. That's it out. It's your cocking arm out. Now to get this out, it's very relevant is turn the gun upside down. I'll show you why in a moment, and slide the whole thing with your action on. Comes out in one piece like that. I'm just going to pop the gun down a moment. I'll show you why. I turned it upside down. This part here, this tail with a slot in, that fits on the trigger mechanism. If you try to take it out with the gun the right way up, it's still sitting on the trigger mechanism and you'll not be able to draw it out. Turn it upside down, simply drops back like that. 2-part mechanism. Firing pin inside there, firing pin spring. The undercarriage with the tail. Dead easy. Very, very easy. So I can just pop them bits like that for the moment. Now this bit here, the chamber what holds the cartridges, there's a big long spring inside here and an end cap that screws off. Now these aren't on viciously tight. The only thing that holds these into place, if I can just try and get up there where the light is and show you, you might just be able to see there, there's a very small pin there. Now it's a spring loaded pin, it doesn't fly out or come out or nothing. So what you've got to do, if I can just keep that there while I do it, is just push the end in slightly and turn. You're just putting the pin so it can rotate. And screw it off. Like I say, there is a spring in here. I'll just put my hand on like that while I'm turning it. And it stops the spring flying all over the place. Just put that down, I'll just show you. End cap, what you screwed off with the spring loaded pin on. And a big long spring. And that's it fine there. Now, so it's easy to put back together. Easiest thing to do, drop the trigger. Trigger mechanism's held in with one pin. That's this pin here. See the head of it just behind the word Outlander, just directly up from the safety catch. And it comes through there. So what we need to do is remove that pin. I know some people say you can simply push these out by hand. I have had this trigger out before and I couldn't push it out by hand. It is a bit tight. So I use a plastic headed screwdriver just as opposed to a hammer, just so I'm not beating things too hard. And just give that a tap. As you can see, it starts coming out the other end. Some people say there's a way to take these out, like as in what side to take them out from. As I'll show you when I get the pin out. I think it's irrelevant because it's not a tapered pin, it's not a double-sided pin. It's just a pin. That's got two tracks cut into it. So it stays in place when it's in the gun. And that's the pin out there. I'll just show you the pin first. You can just see there. And that's the pin that you knock out. Put that there. The trigger. Slightly pull forward. Click. Drop it out. That can go there. Now the fire position is like that when it's been fired. Don't worry if it happens by accident. Push it back down. Now I fired a few shots through this gun. I'm going to quickly run through the cleaning procedure because this has been cleaned, but just to give you an idea of what I use. Everybody's personal preference to what they use to clean a gun. You can get professional or so-called professional gun cleaning fluids. I'm not a big lover of a lot of them. I use this TF2. It's a spray with Teflon surface protector. Leaves a Teflon coating on. I find it amazing. Costs £3-4 for a tin about that size. Lasts you absolute ages and ages. For the oil, the lubrication I use, once again it's a TF2 product. It's cycle oil actually, a couple of quid a bottle. Literally lasts you years. For cleaning the barrel, bore snake, under a £5 off eBay. The snake, it incorporates phosphorus bronze or brass brush into it. One pull through the barrel with that, it's clean. Brass weight on the end to help you pull it through. Wonderful, great stuff then. and they're lube friendly. Doesn't matter if you get them with a bit of lubricant on, they work fine. Right, so obviously everything needs to be cleaned. I use a spray, just like lightly spray on, wipe off, and get right in, get all the bits of muck and powder, dust, whatever out of there. Like I say, this has been cleaned, so I'm just doing this as an example. And when you start oiling stuff up, it's a case of, I use these, they're like a tissue cloth. I wouldn't recommend using tissue, they'll just end up coming to bits and you'll have to pick bits of tissue out. And I'll literally put a dot of oil on, wipe on, and as you're wiping on, wipe off. You don't want oil running all over the place. People's big mistake, they put oil everywhere in guns and they flood the gun, it ends up running down the mechanism into the timber, softens the timber and rots it. It looks horrible. You don't want oil all over the place, run stuff lubricated. That's why I use the TF2, the Teflon based, leaves a coating on so stuff runs smooth. Right, so after you've cleaned everything in your gun, you pull your bore snake through, we'll start reassembling the gun. The trickiest part is putting your spring back in the chamber. Now there is a cap in here. On a 5-shot gun or something with a larger capacity, that would drop out, but this has got a crimped magazine, so it's restricting how many cartridges it can hold, which is 2 in and 1 in the chamber. This is the trickiest part, to start feeding your spring in. It's not under tremendous pressure, just feed it in. And once you've got it like that, get your end cap. I'll let the spring go into the base of the end cap. Then I start turning it clockwise. When you're turning this, it'll come to a stop. When you turn it clockwise, which it has there, now just let it rest up against the body. That's the little spring-loaded pin. Might be difficult to show you this when I'm trying to do it while the camera's run. You just push it in slightly. Oops. I can just get that there as well. Push the head of the spring-loaded pin in, and then carry on turning. And it allows you to screw it the rest of the way. Now if you hear, when you turn it, it'll just go, clicks into place. You don't need them tight, that's it locked off now with that spring-loaded mechanism. And that's your magazine spring back in. And we'll quickly battle on and do the rest now. Can only go one way. Can't go the other way, simply won't fit. One way, you can't go wrong with that. So we'll put this and this in together. Once again, that can only fit in one place. It fits snug up against the side like that. Can't go anywhere else, simply won't fit. Now I just hold them like so, and I put the whole thing in one go and just feed onto the rails. Like that. That's your mechanism back in. Now at this point, my personal preference, I'll put the cotton lever back in. That's your mechanism back. Now if we can just look in here, camera angle on that, you'll see inside the gun there's a plunger. If you put your finger in, it gives you the impression that there's something pushing up the stock. Spring loaded. The tail of the mechanism, which we took out earlier, has got to go exactly in the centre of that, and that works the pressure for the mechanism. Now all I do here, I put my finger through the back, underneath the tail, slightly push it, and it sits in the cup that's on the plunger. Now why I put the cocking handle back in first, it just stops everything coming to bits when you're working. That's that back together like that. The next thing we're going to put in is the trigger mechanism. Once again, once it's cleaned, get it all nice and clean when it's out. You've got to have it in the cocked position. Inside the mechanism here, there's a small hole just above the plunger where you put the tail on. And it's as easy as that. To pull it out, forward, out. Easy as that. Then the pin goes back in. Like I say, it's not tapered, it's not sided. You can put them in either way, either side of the gun. I just use plastic handle screwdriver just so I'm not marking anything. Just tap it into place. And I put it there. Finish off with a punch just so I'm not hitting too close to the gun. And make sure it's through evenly on both sides. Give that one more little tap just to, yep. Next thing on is the barrel. To put the barrel on, pull your action back. The barrel, like I say, this bit will not need any maintenance, believe us. It's a really good idea what they've used there. That just pops straight back in where you took it out before, like that, and it's held in. Very easy. Barrel on the gun. Like so. Just make sure that the barrel is back into its stop position, that there's no gaps or anything, like it's fitted properly. Forearm. Now this bit, take your time when you put it on. I've seen people put these on and leave them like it is there now, so it's not sitting properly, and when they put the end cap on the gun it breaks this. Make sure it's sitting inside the action like that, proper fit there. End cap. Like that. And that's the gun back together. As easy as that. Now for the finish off, this has been cleaned prior. I use a dot of oil, literally a dot of oil. Wipe on, wipe off, just to give it a protective coating. Same as on the black action. Wipe on, wipe off. You don't flood it with oil. Can't emphasise that enough. There's no need to have oil flowing all over the place inside guns. And I get dry cloth tissue. Give it a finishing wipe. that. There's any round where it shouldn't be. Give you a water wipe down. And that's the gun back together. And there we are. Well, I hope that's explained one way to take these to bits and put them back together. And I hope that helps you in some way.